It's a grand final week. Yourself as a coach, what's the most important things for you preparing your side for a game like this?
Just try to stay relaxed. I think, as Iz mentioned earlier, we just try to make it a normal week. We know it's not a normal week, but in terms of the way we're planning, the way we've set up our training week, it's been exactly the same as it's been all year. The only thing is we've just said, look, there's going to be a lot more noise this week. You know, social media is going to be going crazy, and just to embrace it, because you can't run away from it. So we just said, don't hide away from it, just accept it, whatever responsibilities, activities that you have this week, just take it on board. But we try to make sure that most of our senior guys have taken that load in terms of interviews and things like that. So pretty normal for us, but we know it's a big week.
Melbourne Derby, do you embrace the intensity? Do you have to hold guys as it's back? How do you approach it?
Absolutely the same way. Me personally, I still can't believe after 20 years it's the first grand final, first derby in a grand final. So that's a first. And you know what the derby's always like. They're always intense. There's always something happening that can be explosive, as you know. So we just have to try to prepare for anything and everything. And yeah, we prepared so well this year. We're ready. So whatever happens on the night, we'll be ready.
How conscious are you about the moments in games, and particularly victory? Have got guys like Zizou, like Azani, who can make moves come out of nowhere. You guys have got guys like that too. But how conscious are you of the way the game can change on the boot of some of these guys?
Yeah, look, there's no question they're a very strong outfit. But we're also a very strong outfit, and we deserve to be where we are today. And we deserve to be fighting out on that last day on Saturday night. So, yeah, of course they've got their danger players. We have ours as well. There are always going to be moments in games, and you have to try to manage those moments as best you can.
There's a lot of players, I think, not injured, but we're coming back from injury and a whole lot of sorts of victory. Are you planning to be a little bit more physical to give it to them this week?
Well, that's the way we play anyway. So we've been aggressive from the very first day of our competition. We want to be the aggressor. That's the way we play. That's the team's identity, and we'll continue to do that.
Obviously, you guys are on the home side for this fixture, but there'll be a lot of victory fans here that will be making a lot of noise and making themselves heard. How important is it to kind of quiet that crowd down in the early part of the game?
I think it's almost impossible. So, look, I think they'll have a majority share of the crowd, but our fans have been there for us from the very, very first day. They've supported us, and we expect them to be just as loud and support us right to the end.
Obviously, they spoiled the party for Auckland last week. Are you prepared to spoil the party for them here?
Yeah. Look, it's a grand final, and it's a grand final that we deserve to be there. We have the right to fight for it, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
It's been a while since you've actually beaten Victory in a game. You haven't played badly in games against Victory, but you just haven't been able to salute. What lessons can you take from those games and implement on the weekend?
Oh, look, we've adapted and we've learnt from the previous games that we played against them, and I think we've improved certainly from round 3 to the last time we played them. So look, they've changed a little bit as well, obviously with a new coach. Guys like Gary who are not there anymore. So we've had to adapt, and we've had to learn and to grow, and I think we've done that step by step.
Anyone that won't be out there this weekend? I think Sammy, you might have worked the season already.
Yeah, besides Sammy, as you know, Andy Naboo and Jimmy Jago, Jaden Nikovsky, so those guys have had long-term injuries. Sammy wasn't a long-term, but it became a long-term, so they definitely won't be there.
What would it mean to you personally as a coach to lift that trophy up?
Yeah, I'd be extremely proud, because it's not a yearly event that you can get to a grand final. So, and I know we've put in, not just myself, but all the coaching staff, the high performance staff, the admin staff, every single person at the club has put in an incredible shift this season. We all headed in the right direction, the same direction. No one ever wavered. Even we had moments in the middle of the year, I think we lost 3 in a row. We just kept a straight face, and we kept battling away, and we put ourselves in a great position. So everyone deserves it.
So I remember you saying when you got the call to take over, you were doing family barbecue when you got the call to take over.
Yeah.
How do you reflect on like that? Getting a phone call, you're doing the sausages, then you get the call to now being in a
It was a
grand
ribeye.
final.
It was a ribeye
There
steak.
you go, you get a ribeye.
No
Bougie,
sausages.
bougie. How do you reflect on that journey now to a grand final?
I think this is part of life, especially in sporting life. You know, things can change and turn very, very quickly. You know, you can be in a job one day and you can be out of it the next. So it's all part of the experiences, all part of the lessons, and yeah, nothing should really surprise you in football.
Just on Lex, we've seen him building up his minutes over the past few weeks. What sort of role can he play on Saturday? Maybe do you have to consider the possibility of extra time and penalties when you're determining that?
Yeah, they're all the things that we have to juggle with. Obviously, and I've mentioned many times before that he's such a crucial player for us, and you know, we haven't relied on him at all this year. And the moments that he has come on, he's done a great job for us. So again, you know, we've still got a couple more sessions to go and see how we're going to set up, which is going to be the best thing for the team.
You've coached in a grand final before. It didn't go the way you wanted. What's that experience that you take from that, even though it was a while ago, to this now to with the side?
It was a long time ago. I don't even remember it, to be honest. I remember the opposition though. So, look, again, it's a different game. Finals are completely different. You really can't lean on anything that's happened in the past. You learn from experiences, certainly about, for example, like embracing the week, because sometimes in your first one you try not to, you know, get carried away with all the things that are happening. So you sort of just got to be a little bit more relaxed. I think our group has been so relaxed throughout the whole year. You know, there's an incredible amount of trust amongst them, and we as coaching staff have an incredible amount of trust for them and with them, and it puts us in a really good position to go out on Saturday night and put on a strong performance.
Aurelio, can you just tell us a little bit about what you've seen from Aziz in terms of his leadership, in terms of how he's guided?
I see the rain coming in.
Sorry.
Look, I think we made a pretty conscious effort at the end of last year when Jamie McLaren left the club, who was going to be the next captain, who was going to be the next leader. And I certainly felt, and I spoke with Michael Petrillo on many occasions, that probably the only one, we've got a lot of strong leaders, but probably the only one who could do the job that we'd expect right now would be Aziz. And we certainly missed him the last 6 months of last season. And he's been instrumental. He's been so important for us. Sometimes as a coach, it's not easy to control the change room. And he's made my life so much easier because you know, anything that happens, or even prior to things happening, he's already onto it, so he can sense it, he can smell it, and everyone is just following the standards and following rules, and sometimes, you know, we have to be a little bit more open for those sorts of things, and we can allow some things to happen, but the way he's managed that group has been sensational this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.